journalism, professional journalism, is a craft and a practice. We do have a code of ethics, and the idea is to hold those in power accountable, and ferret out the truth and put it out there for people to make their own informed decisions. So when you see, for example, the power and the instant blanketing of a social media movement with a hashtag, but that alone is not enough. And I brought in today a bunch of publications. Mm-hmm. So when I think about it, I think it's great to have that hashtag and to feel the momentum of a social media move in the newspapers, right? So the New York Times had an investigation, the New Yorker had an investigation. Now we have, the Time Person of the Year being the silence breakers. So those two working in tandem, but I think that Washington Post, New York Times, these traditional print media and now online media organizations, vehicles, that's where the hard investigative work happens, because you're not going to put these women on the front page of a magazine, and you're not going to put their quotes out there unless they've been substantiated and verified and vetted. And so
yes,
I think print media amplifies those voices in a way that gives them both the gravitas and the credibility that's needed.
I think that's such an important point to make. The difference between social media and print media journalism is that social media is designed for folks to simply talk. It's like an amplification of the original Me Too, which was protest. It was word of mouth. It was talking, which is so needed in our society. However, when it spread to print, when it's not print, I guess when you see a printed word on a computer screen, when you look at anything in print, you may say or think that that's an established fact, but social media is people talking, and there is a difference between that and the obligations that journalists have to research the information that they found. As a PhD, a full PhD that went through a board and the entire process, facts are something that you have to look at multiple sources to verify, to test one variable at a time. Is this accurate? Is it not? There is a huge difference between that and gossip, and then elevating gossip to a plateau. And which the way you want to talk about this when we were talking and creating the show was the perspective of the Me Too through the media's eyes.
I think Shania's column was courageous. She tested the waters a little bit in class, maybe, that we were having these conversations. But I think when you look at the movement, that it is courageous, and you see one person step forward, and I always think, draw a fire, have the courage to stand up and take the first assault, and then someone else comes and stands, I got your back, and hey, I'm with you, and hey, and that momentum, because that's what you're seeing now, this momentum. But someone has to be the person to speak out first, knowing the power and the blame and the disparaging that may come at you. So that's what I think is, I see a direct correlation between the courage it takes to speak out and the courage it takes to be a journalist who's going to go out and report this work.